Yeah, you already know what it is. Your boy Bands alongside Cristina. We are the Spark Up Podcast.
Chill.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're back.
Officially.
We
back.
look good. We feel good. We're in a new space.
You look amazing. What's up?
Thank you. Your head is glowing.
My shining. You know, when you pray, you drink water, you know.
That's it.
Your
That's the
skin
recipe.
works. That's the rest. And a little shea butter.
Welcome everybody to the Spark Up Podcast, episode 175. I know it's been a minute since we been on the podcast. I think it's been exactly a year and a half. The last episode we did, I think Ruben wasn't even on it because you were in DR at the time and you came back and you know there was a lot of changes and we're gonna get into all of that. So but before we get into that, I want to do an icebreaker. So the question is, in a movie about your life, what's the iconic scene that has to be included? I already have mine, but I'll let you go first.
There's a couple in my life, you know what I mean?
You gotta pick one.
I would say the night I decided to give up everything regardless of what would happen. Long story short, I was at work, got into an argument with the manager, and then in the nighttime, I'm like, yo, why the hell would I want to be working for a place that doesn't really appreciate me? You know, if you appreciate me, you kind of work with me, not against me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna quit my job, and you know, whatever comes with it, comes with it.
Who would play you in the movie?
Oof.
I already have one. You want me to say who? Biggie's son.
No, hell no.
Why not?
Hell no.
That's a good
Hell
one.
no. Hell to
You don't
the
think
no,
that's a
no,
good
no.
one? He's a good actor.
Don't matter. He don't look nothing
A
like
little
me.
taller, but
He don't look nothing like me.
he don't. But you gotta be dramatic. You need somebody that's gonna do well in the role.
What's the guy they confused for Charlemagne? The model?
Morris Chestnut.
Yeah, I have Morris Chestnut.
Ruben,
Why not?
Be serious.
Why not?
Morris
Come
Chestnut.
on.
You look more like Biggie's son than you
Stop
do. Morris.
it.
You never seen Biggie's son? Same complexion.
Morris Chestnut.
No,
You got the part, bro.
that's crazy as hell. You imagine Morris Chestnut working at a parking garage?
Poochall, but he got to cut his hair.
Who?
Bald. Poochall.
Yo. You're fired. For me, it would have to be, actually Poochall, give him a little baldy. Yeah.
I'm saying, you know what I mean?
He's thinner, but yeah.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah. A big boy.
You could add. It's Hollywood. You could add
That prosthetics.
prosthetics,
Now
a
it's
little
the Tyler Perry
prosthetic.
movie.
You know what I mean?
That's funny. For me, I don't know if we shared this story on the podcast, but it was the time that I got really, really high with Mo.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Were you there? You were
I
at the
was
house.
not there, but
Yeah, it was. I'll tell a quick synopsis.
I heard a very
It's kind of
exaggerated story.
embarrassing, but my cousin and I were smoking, and I got too high, and I thought I was dying. So he had to call the ambulance. The ambulance came, and our aunt lives right under us, and she had no idea. And then I'm falling asleep in the back in on a stretcher, and now I'm in the hospital, and I wake up and see my mom, and I'm like,
wait, you doing a I'm dying.
No. I really when. I mean, I feel like a lot of people has had this experience.
You are Dominican, so knowing Dominicans, they over exaggerate when they
No, I
feel
really
sick.
felt like my heart was gonna
Me
pump
está
out of my.
muriendo.
No, my heart was like, it was going super fast, and I was like, my body, like I was seeing double, hearing double. It was a wild
The
experience,
ambulance
but
lights
yeah.
was going, and you're like,
Actually, the EMT
was like
guy
a
was
movie.
laughing at me because he was like, this happens often.
did you hear his laugh in slow motion?
No. He was just like looking at me, smiling. He was like, you're gonna be okay. I was high for like 2 days straight.
That's fire. Whatever you smoke was some fire.
That's not okay. Shout out to Mo though, who handled that well. I mean, he did what he could. Got me a glass of water and rubbed
I mean, that's
my
the
back.
first thing you're supposed to do.
Nah, weed
Water.
is not handled with water. It's handled with time.
And love.
You're- That scene is iconic for me. That was
that'll be a fire scene. You want to reenact it?
No,
let's do it.
No.
Let's do it.
I'm actually nervous right now. Just thinking about it.
For all the viewers, if you want to see Cristina reenact the scene,
absolutely not.
Say yes. No. Comment below.
But we're gonna get into the evolution of Spark Up. Reflecting on 8 years. It's our 8th year anniversary.
Damn, 8 years.
Yeah, we started in 2016. Shout out to Rob, shout out to Regina, and Wendell, who's a bonus host. And we'll talk about the break and all that stuff. So I'll start by asking you, and then I'll answer the question. Mm-hmm. Looking back at the beginning, what do you remember about starting the podcast together?
I just wanted to do something different. When I talk about podcasting to people, it's funny because I remember when it wasn't cool to be a podcaster. Like, what the hell's a podcast?
Literally, I had to tell people the definition.
You know, and I'll sit there and be like, wow, you don't know what a podcast is. But also just tells me how ahead of the time I was and we were. You know what I mean? Because, you know, this all started at technically a barbecue.
I mean, yeah, but I think the podcast wave was like coming through. Rest in peace, Combat Jack, who kind of started that, right? Like it's obviously kind of like a spin-off of radio. It's a spin on radio, more long form, less, you know, no commercials, no music, more conversational, right? And so I think that wave was already happening. I think I don't even know. Well, I speak for myself. I didn't have the foresight, like, oh, this is about to be the next. I didn't think about it like that.
You know, if you talk to me, I'm like, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that was your attitude then.
It's always my attitude.
But when did you feel like it was special? Like, when was the thing where you were like,
first time we started. Shit? From the moment we started.
Really?
Yes. I knew. Like, the thing about me is I see things not now, but later. It's 2025.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
No projects. You see that? You see that? You like that?
You are. Ooh. You know, it's so funny because when we were scouting for hosts, right, I forced Regina to be on the podcast. I always say that. And we ended up becoming best friends. And Rob, who's just family. But then Sway, remember I asked Sway to be a part of it, and he was like, nah, what's it about? Like, I don't know. And I remember when he was at the 1 year anniversary, he was like, yo, this is special. And I wish I had said yes. And then he was the one that said, you know, hindsight is 2020. When you look back at things and you see the way it pans out, you're like, oh shit, this is actually something. But for me, I think when I felt like we had something special, I think it was at the 1 year anniversary. When I emailed, of course, if you don't know, I'm obsessed with Stay Silent and all of the things that they've done. But I emailed Sabrina, and to reserve Trade Pop-Up. We originally wanted to do one night. And she was like, yeah, we don't do one night. It's 4 days. 4 days or nothing. And I was like, what?
That's the challenge.
Yeah, no, literally. I'm like, what are we going to do with these 4 days? And we killed it. We executed, and it turned out to be great. But
not gonna lie, but
fire.
Even though we did that kind of like on a whim and, you know, just went with the flow, it was crazy how it turned out.
No,
you know what I mean? Like the way things happen. But not only that, in fact, if you really have to ask me what's the moment
I
that
already know what you're gonna say.
We know this shit was going crazy, and excuse my language, but I knew this shit was going crazy when we was having the live show
at Rick.
Yeah. And two random people participated. Oh. You remember that moment?
I think we've told that story before. We might have that on camera somewhere in the archives.
We need to show that. Yeah, for sure.
That was so
long
crazy.
Story short, we're doing a show about situationships, and during the podcast, we open up the mic to the crowd to answer questions. This girl walks up. She's like, I'm kind of in a situationship right now. And she's like, I'm actually here with my situationship partner. And we're like, whoa.
No, I don't even know if she went first. I think the guy went first.
Was it the guy?
And he was telling his side of the story, and it was just like a regular story about him meeting this girl, and he's making breakfast for her, and he just got out of a relationship, and he was like, yeah, I would say it's kind of a situationship. We don't really have a title. And then the girl came on like 2 people after she came on, and then she was like, yeah, I'm actually with him right now. We were like, what?
The crowd went so crazy.
That was priceless.
That was a moment that I was like, yo, you can't make these things up.
Literally.
These things happen for a reason.
Yeah,
and
it was wild.
And just to tie that up, you know what I mean? I've always been the person to say everything happens for a reason. Just let things play out the way they're supposed to. Because we're not in control. As much as you think you're in control, we're in control of nothing at all.
Literally, just our actions.
You know what I mean? We are no one. We are nothing. We don't control shit.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know, we can only participate and try to make the best of it. And I think that's always kind of been my message. Just do it.
Yeah, no, literally.
Like Nike, just do it.
Yeah. But we did take a break for a year and a half. So let's talk about what was going on in our lives during that time. For me, I took the time out to be less creative and more career focused. I feel like I'm finally an adult right now.
Ooh,
like I feel like a grown lady now. Yeah, no.
Tell me about it.
Of course, I started at City Year. I think the last time we recorded, I was already at City Year. And now I'm at Reba. I'm at a new job. So transitioning out of the creative space into the professional space, because of course I always had a job, but it was never like my career. I was just working at Target for a check. But I think that in that time, there was like a weird like rewiring in my brain that was like, oh, I'm using all my energy here. My creative juices are being used here. So I didn't really know. It's almost like I transferred the creativity to the career space. And in that time, man, I just really, really was just connecting with God, really like getting closer to God, understanding myself, and like facing my flaws head on. Like a lot of my being irresponsible, maybe being lazy, a lack of discipline. Like, I feel like I grew up a lot since the last time we started podcasting.
We're always forever evolving.
Yeah. And I feel
important.
Obviously there's room for improvement because we're always growing. But in that time too, I was also thinking like, will we come back? I was telling people, I was like,
everybody used to ask me, I'd be like, I don't know. It's up to Cristina.
I'm ready to go.
But it's all up to Cristina. Like that's one thing I never liked to force things on anybody. Also, so I was, you remember what I told you that one time?
The 5-year contract,
and we're closer to 10.
I know, that's wild.
We're closer to 10.
Ruben was like, "Thank you. Give me at least 5 years." I was like, "I'm gonna give you 3." By 3, we were just getting started technically.
Yeah, and
that's when things started booming.
I thank you for not giving up on me.
Yeah.
Even though, it has not been a smooth ride, because
not at all.
It's been a crazy fucking roller coaster. But you know what I mean? We're here. And that's the most important thing, that the universe will bring you to the point you need to be at the right time, at the right space.
The universe,
and this is part of your story. It's not called history for history, her story. I mean,
well, look at you being progressive. You remember when we first started how sexist you were?
I'm
hate you had for Mariah Carey. Do you still hate her?
We're banning her this year.
What?
Sorry for saying that. We're tired of Mariah Carey Christmas. Come on.
No, we need
We need a new player. Can we add Bruno Mars to Christmas now?
What?
I think it's time.
He doesn't have Christmas music.
That's what I'm saying. Can we add Bruno Mars to the list?
Please. Can you imagine?
Bruno Mars Christmas will be fire.
Nah, you might be onto something though.
Like that'll be
He's just a good musician, so anything he makes.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so you're saying Mariah Carey is not?
No. Mariah Carey is a
say it
great
with your
artist.
chest.
She's a great artist. I never hated her. No, she still is because she's still alive and she still can create. However, she might be a flop nowadays, but that's not you know what I mean, gonna take away from her legacy.
But this Christmas song is a classic, and you're lucky I don't have the soundboard because I would.
No, I don't want to hear Mariah Carey's voice this year. I know she's been through a lot this year, and you know, I stand with her on that part. You know what I mean? But give it a break, sis. You need a break.
It's not her though; it's the people.
So for the listeners out there,
no,
do you agree it's time for a new person to take up the mantle? Yes or no?
Your hate for Mariah Carey.
It's so not hate. This is love. I'm telling her to take a break. She needs a break.
It's not her fault that she made a timeless record. It's not her fault.
We can pass the baton to somebody else. It's time. It's time.
Nobody. It's her or Jackson
Before
5.
It was who was it? The Jose Feliciano. Feliz Navidad.
That song still gets played too.
Yeah, but we don't want to listen to him like that. We
it's
want
American
somebody else.
tradition.
We want somebody else to take. American tradition is what's holding these people in place. Give the baton to somebody else. It's time to let somebody else shine. How about that?
It's not by choice. It's
No. It is by choice because the big companies, these big companies.
Are you so outraged by Christmas music? You're a Grinch.
Am I?
Yes.
I love Christmas. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's fake happy.
Everybody, damn heavy on the fake happy.
You know what I mean? Like,
and
oh
broke.
my God. Like, you hated my gift that one year. I'm not saying you, but you hated. Have you hated one of my gifts?
What have I gotten?
I don't know.
Well, you gave me a Beyonce book that one time.
Was it?
It's something you found like probably at Job Lot.
I tried to buy. Like, I don't care much for holidays like that. Every day I see you, I should be grateful for you. Why do we wait for holidays?
You should be a philosopher.
I am. I'm a street philosopher.
Every day you're going on rants.
Yo, yeah. If you follow me, you know I start my day with a message.
Rant.
A message, a passage through my eyes.
Right. The Ruben philosophy.
Yeah.
Listen. That's something. It could be something.
I mean, everybody's a philosopher in their own way.
No, it's not true.
You're a philosopher.
Never.
A little bit.
Let's move on. What's one thing you've learned from each host during these years of working together, and how did they influence your growth, your personal growth?
I learned you just have to have patience.
You learned that from all of us?
Mainly
Mainly you. I'm including Regina and Rob too.
Yeah, but mainly you, because we had a different relationship throughout the podcast. Yeah. So I just gotta say that, just not seeing it just my way, but being open to what you had to say, and not always trying to, because like in a group setting, sometimes people try to overthrow the next person. Like, no, this is a teamwork. We're working together, not against each other. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to go forth with whatever we're doing. Oh, this is what we're doing? All right, let's do it. And I think that's what messes up a lot of relationships in general. Mm. Like, everybody's trying to be the forefront. Mm. Sometimes you're not the forefront, and it's okay.
Right, you gotta. It's
play okay to play second, third, fourth, whatever place you play. As long as you have your hands in whatever is going on, that's all that matters. Yeah. Just be the great number 2, great number 3, great number
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think what I learned most from everybody is handling different personalities,
especially mine.
Well, we came in hot, I think, because we didn't know what we were doing. We had to learn microphone etiquette. Right, I listened to some of those episodes and we're all talking at the same time, or Regina and I are talking, you and Rob are talking at the like we're having 2 different conversations, and I'm like, sometimes I'm listening to that and I'm like, I need to shut this off. But
that's what I learned, just excitement too.
That's true. But what I learned is everyone has different ways of showing up, right? Like Rob was more reserved and he was more responsible, and so he was more I guess he kind of like understood like to play his position. Regina is more outspoken, right? So then I had to, as a leader, I had to learn how to delegate. Like, okay, if Regina's outspoken, maybe she needs her own segment. And we got to let her take control of that. And then Rob wants to do sports. Let's let him do his sports, right? And then you had kind of like your own version of Donkey of the Day. And then you came up with Pass Me the Aux. So for me, I had to learn most important, and it's something I still deal with, is relinquishing control. And realizing that, like you said, it's me in this, but it's us that's all recording at the same time, that's showing up and putting in the effort. So I had to really, really check myself every day. And also, I think dealing with you the most, right? Because we're the ones that's like driving the boat. I had to learn patience. I think naturally, I have a mean demeanor,
Sometimes.
but I think it was it's hereditary. It was passed on to me. So I had to learn how to like be nicer and learn how to communicate things that didn't feel like aggressive or like I was being an asshole, because that's not the intention. But I had to learn how to translate my thoughts to not hurt people's feelings, and also pivoting. Right when we got kicked out of BO8 studio, even though you were,
you could talk
even though
about
you
it.
were parlaying, still.
No, and it wasn't like, okay, so we're gonna put an end to that little situation. Like, you know, I was like, damn, we got kicked out. You know, I was being invited to be a co-host on another podcast. Not that I was jumping ship, but I was like, okay, this is a way to keep up the momentum, you know, of being on a podcast and keeping up, you know, at least keeping up till we can figure out on the back end what we're doing with our brand. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you have to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
And,
now that I'm more mature, I get it now.
And one thing I would tell to everyone out there, whether you're doing podcasts, whether you're a photographer, videographer, model, you're a creative of any sort, don't take things too personal. You know, because I think everybody's like trying to push forward their art, but not everybody's going to take it the same way. And we have to learn that. And that's one thing I learned on our journey is like, yo, you can't take things personal. Like taking things personal takes away from you learning because you're too busy stuck on just yourself. Sometimes it's okay to stand back, wait, and ask yourself, yo, am I tripping? Now, if you ain't tripping, that's a different story. But don't take things too personal.
Yeah.
It's not that serious.
I mean, you know, behind the scenes, we had a lot of conversations off records about this person did this and this person did this. And that's another reason why I had to stop the podcast, because I was so set on that and taking things personal. So I'm glad we have moved past that. And I'm grateful for all the times we met and argued about, no, we got to talk about this. No, we got to, like, those are the things that we had to do to eventually get to a place where the chemistry was like, and then we had to pivot again.
We always kind of had chemistry because not only that, but we're family.
Yeah, but I'm saying like all of us, the four of us at the beginning, it took time to, I would say season 3 was like prime. And then Rob left, and then we had to learn a different dynamic with the 3 of us. And then Regina left, which leads me to the next question, right? When I had came to you, what am I saying? I'm an English major, am I? When I came to you about coming back to the podcast, we had a candid conversation about where I was personally in life, and then my thoughts of going solo and doing interviews on my own. And let me just tell you, it took, well, I think I said this to you, but it took a lot, because when you create something with somebody, it almost feels like you owe it to them to continue to do it with them, even if you feel like you want to venture out. And so it took a lot for me it almost felt like I was betraying you in a way, where I was like, damn, but like, because really I credit a lot of what I've done to you, because you were always like, you could do it. You could do it. We're going to do it. We're going to figure it out.
I believe everybody could do whatever they set their mind
Right.
to.
And I'm grateful for that because I came in. Now I'm getting emotional. I knew this was going to happen. I came in very.
It's the real moment.
Oof.
Take your time.
Holy moly.
Take your time.
I came into the podcast very negative, in a negative space. And this journey.
Take your time.
You know, doing this with you.
Yes, thank you. Please.
Thank you. I'm such a crybaby. I should have known.
No, it's okay.
I'm just grateful for the partnership. All the times when I was like, Ruben, I told you 5 years, but I don't know. It's year 3, it's year 4. And I'm like counting down for the end instead of looking forward to the future. But you kept the battery in my back.
And I will always.
And it just feels like the podcast has been such a great part of my life. And the intention is so pure. Sometimes we get caught up in our own bullshit. So with that being said, I'm gonna let you talk because I'm gotta collect myself. As we're transitioning and I'm figuring out like what's it look like now, what are your thoughts on that?
The journey's not over. There's a lot of work that we could be doing. There's a lot of help we need from not only ourselves, but from our listeners, our viewers, because this ship is not just us. It's everybody that follows us. This is not just a podcast. This is a space of enlightenment. We're foolish. We're people. We grow every day, every single moment. Every day we are growing to a space that, is unknown. People are creatures of becoming or having a faith towards something. And when you have faith, you just gotta be on that path. Everything will direct you different ways. Don't worry about how you get there. Work towards getting there. I learned a lot from you. And that's why I say it's important for our followers to push us forward, just how we're trying to push this forward. Because without them, we're nobody.
No, literally.
Without
the guests
we have, we're nobody.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody that has crossed through this platform. Like we started this to not only believe in ourselves, but to believe in y'all.
In the stories.
Everybody that has come through here has not been all because they're cool. It's been because we believe in you. We've seen people grow. Yeah. We've seen people grow. We've had people on here that are moving towards a greater tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or have a greater today.
Yeah. And that's the amazing thing, right? Like, and I think I talked about that with Amanda Shea on the podcast. Shout out to Amanda Shea. Is like the stories we have on record are not stories you could find anywhere else. And exactly. I think that that's the most beautiful part of it, is that we were able to take ourselves out of it without really noticing that we're going through our own personal journeys. Like you picked up a camera while we were doing this.
No, facts.
And now look at the way you're moving in the camera space, in the photography world, videography.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy, right?
Every day I wake up and I'm like, yo, is this even real?
Right. We didn't come in here thinking about what we're going to get out of it. We came in here just thinking about how do we best tell people's stories. And so I'm forever grateful for this. I feel like it was an era. I feel like low-key were pioneers of the media space in Rhode Island and Providence.
And shout outs to everybody that came before us. Rude Boy.
Rude boy, yeah.
The girls talk.
The group chat. It was the
Group chat. My bad for butchering that, but everybody that
even
was
Music Fiend.
yeah, even DJ Ruckus, Music Fiend, everybody that shout outs to Franchise, shout outs
Yes.
to everybody. Flawless. Damn, I got so many names that I could drop, you know what I mean? But overall, thank you for the people that has stuck with us throughout the 8 years that, you know, actually stop me on the street and say, yo, when the podcast coming back, even though some of you don't really listen, but you know what I mean? It's
Right.
still like, damn, you know, I'm kind of like working towards something. I'm not looking for all the fake love no more.
Yeah.
I think for a long time, I was like, I want to get likes wherever. But I've come to a place, a time, and I think, and I got to attribute this to the camera space, you know, you find yourself, and when you find yourself, it don't matter who's better than you. It don't matter who's doing more work than you. None of that matters. You know why? Because at the end of the day, what really matters is what you're doing and what you're working towards. And if you can contribute to my journey, I thank you. And that's the biggest thing I can give you is my thank you. You know what I mean? Because that's the only thing I have to give really. I'm broke. I'm poor.
Right.
But I'm betting on myself.
Right. Exactly.
And that's why we're here today. You know, that's why we were able to come to this beautiful space, you know, to be able to speak, be able to connect with y'all. This to me is therapy. This is how I get my shit off. You know what I mean?
So to wrap it up, what sparks your passion for the future? What keeps you going? What keeps that spark alive?
Life. We all have a message in life. We all have a goal in life. Chase what you want to see out of life.
Well, let me see. What sparks my
yours?
passion for the future is actually something that have worked tirelessly and still am working towards is the unknown. For a long time, uncertainty has made me uncomfortable, but I've done things in the past year that I'm like, damn, I didn't think I was going to be in this. I didn't know I was going to, first of all, moving out of my mom's house was like life-changing. It sounds small, but that pushed me to be uncomfortable. And so I think what sparks my passion is being uncomfortable and finding a new way to wiggle my way through comfort. And then when I feel too comfortable again, it's like, okay, what can I do now differently?
It's good when you get there, though.
Yeah, I'm getting used to being uncomfortable and not in a way where like I'm sad or like stressed out. I mean, I'm daily stressed for like regular life things, but
you're not stressed, you're blessed.
No, I do. And I was going to get to that. And I feel like the most blessings I've received from God was in the most uncomfortable places in my life, whether that's my relationships, job, even parenting, like all of it has been so uncomfortable for me. And now in the space where, you know, I'll be interviewing people one-on-one, that's also uncomfortable for me too. And not the craft itself, but the process, right? Like coming into the studio with you and like being used to those things, like now it'll be different. So I think that's what sparks my passion, is trying to figure out what's on the other side of the door. So I'm looking forward to anything that comes out of it. I don't have no expectations anymore. I don't have like, oh, I need likes or I need these people to like me. I need to be put up. I'm not worried about that stuff anymore. And then the minute I do, I check myself. I'm able to catch it, and now I'm more aware of my thought process and like how damaging
you're being more
it could
selfless.
be. Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. More selfless. Submitting to whatever God has for me, releasing control, and just rolling with the punches.
Know that
That was it for this episode. Do you have any last remarks, shameless plugs, things you got coming up, how the people can follow you, all that stuff?
I'm not going to do that no more. Just pay attention to what's happening. You know, just see the momentum, follow us, and I'm not pressed on planning anymore. I'm just doing. Let's just do, and let's
You're
just
living a
go.
fast life. I'm scared
Life
of
is
you.
fast.
That's a fact.
Life is fast, and one day you're here, one day you're gone. So just know, live in the moment, live for something, whatever that something is, and let's get it popping.
Yeah, I love that.
Let's connect for real.
And I do have shameless plugs, actually. You can catch me on 101.1 FM WBRU 360 every Tuesday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. with DJ Franchise. If you're listening to this and you're not from Providence, obviously you can't listen to the station, so you can download the WBRU 360 app. And then you can check this podcast out anywhere you find podcasts. And this podcast ain't for everybody, but it's for somebody. And so if that somebody is you, follow Sparkle Pod on Instagram, Spotify. And yeah, it's been a great road. We're still
over.
family though, right? Like outside of this, I still get to see you. So
Here and there,
it's not
I've been kind of secluded.
no,
from
you've been
everybody.
MIA for sure. Yeah, I'm
From
glad you brought
everybody,
that up yourself.
But that's me building. I'm building something.
You're focused.
I'm working on my ship. I'm a
it's
Ozark.
tunnel vision. I respect it.
You know, I get into my modes and I set my mind on something. I get it done. Whether it takes me a year, 2 years, that's from, my journey to determine. But I will get there.
Word.
But yeah, that's what it is. Thank you for tuning in. We are the Sparkle Podcast. I want y'all to be blessed, drink water, and pray.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we out. We did it.
Deuces.